What's up? Hey, YouTube is Cooking with Jaxx today. Hey, today I got a special recipe that I'm doing for one of my subscribers. So Christy, this recipe is going out to you. Today's recipe is called the taco braid. If you invite your friends or some family members over, they're going to look at it and they're going to think you worked all day on this. But really, it's simple. I'm going to show you how to do this. Taco braid. Let's get started. Okay? So, first thing we're going to need is, you're going to need some ground beef, about 1 pound. I'm, as usual, using my grass-fed, hormone-free. You're going to need 1 tomato, or I'm using a bunch of tomatoes. That's optional. You don't want to put tomatoes in this. You don't have to. Okay? So moving on. You're going to need some sour cream. Optional as well. Some cheese. Grated cheese. Okay? You're going to need about, depending on how much you want, I'm going to be using about 1 cup of it. Okay? You're going to need 1 packet of taco seasoning. If you can make your own, that's even better. You're going to need 1/2 cup of water. You're going to need 1 can of pizza crust. Okay? You're going to need some olive oil. You're going to need about 2 tablespoons of butter. You're going to need 1/2 an onion. Alright? So now, we're going to put this stuff together. We're going to chop our onion up, and we're going to get our ground beef browned up. Be right back with you. So one other thing I neglected to tell you is, you're going to need some type of a pan, and I'm just using some parchment paper on it. And I'm going to use a little bit of this butter spray and just spray it down. And also, one other thing that I neglected to say, I am going to be putting black olives in this as well. That's optional. I love black olives. Hey, you do what you want. This is just my recipe. Alright, a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit. In goes our onions. Now, we're just pretty much going to sweat these up a little bit until they get translucent. Then we're going to add our ground beef. Alright, we've got our onions a little caramelized up there. I let them go a little bit too long, but it's not that big of a deal. Now we're going to brown up this ground beef. And while your ground beef is browning up, you can go ahead and chop up your tomatoes and your black olives if you want them. Alright, as you can see, our meat is just about browned up now, so I'm going to drain the fat off, and then I'm going to add the 1/2 cup of water and my taco seasoning. And while you're doing that, go ahead and preheat your oven to 375. Alright, now we'll just stir this about and we'll let it simmer for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And basically we just want to cook off all that liquid. Alright, now it's time to roll out this dough. This is where the magic is going to come together right here. Make sure you, if you're one of those guys and they're making this, make sure that you make a damn good mess with this flour so your wife will get on your butt. Because, you know, life just wouldn't be the same if your wife is not ragging your behind for making such a mess. And there's something about messing with flour for me. There's no clean way to do it. Alright, so what we're going to do is roll this out to about 10 inches wide and about 15 inches long. Okay? You know, you don't have to get technical. If you want to get technical, use a tape measure. If not, just guesstimate. Alright, so we got our dough rolled out. So now what we want to do is, I'm going to use a pizza cutter, but you can use whatever you want. So about every inch, you want to come 3 inches in. In other words, we're going to start right about here. Okay, that's about 1.5 inches from the top. And we're going to go about 3 inches in. 1.5 inches, 3 inches in. 1.5 inches, 3 inches in. We're going to do that all the way down, and then we're going to turn around and do it on the other side. Alright. Alright, so now we've got that completed. Now what you want to do is, you're going to take your meat and gingerly lay it all the way down the middle. Alright, now comes the cheese. And you know, you can either be really liberal or with it, or you can be sparse with it. It's entirely up to you. Next comes our black olives. Tomatoes. Okay, now will come your braid. Basically what you want to do is take that over there and put that like that. Pull this one across. Now the beginning, make sure that you get the end really good, and it's the beginning here. You want it to contain it. And just kind of crisscross them. And just continue doing this all the way down. Alright, so now we've got it done. I'm going to see if I can bring it in here so you can actually see what it looks like. Alright, there it is. Yeah. And all these little cracks here, it's probably going to swell. And sometimes it closes, sometimes they don't. It depends. But alright, so 375, we're going to put it in the oven now, just like that. But we're going to take our 2 tablespoons of butter now, and we're going to melt it, and then we're going to brush it on the top of this. Then stick it in the oven, in the 365 degree oven, and bake it for about 20-25 minutes, or until it's done. There it is. Just pulled that out of the oven. 20 minutes it took. Alright, Christy, that was for you. Other people, taco braid. Do it.